Some are saying Trump will use a government shutdown to slow down the impeachment process. And it can shut down as early as November 11th. How convenient, right? This came out on CNN Politics. With impeachment consuming Congress, lawmakers fear threat of a government shutdown. Being that Trump is about to be impeached, you can best believe this time around he gonna keep this damn thing shut down for an eternity if he has to do it. So this came out October 30th, 2019, and it's a big story because I saw it across several outlets. Uh-uh-uh. A government funding deadline is on a collision course with the Democratic impeachment inquiry, leaving lawmakers scrambling to find a way out of what could become a bitter and politically charged impasse. Democratic and Republican members acknowledge a shutdown is far from desired. They are working to hammer out agreements on full year spending bills and a short term stopgap measure to keep the lights on beyond the November 21st funding deadline. But there are palpable concerns combined with slow moving process in the broader talks that the tenor of impeachment could engulf the Capitol and make it harder for lawmakers to find time to pass legislation that would keep the government funded past the November deadline. That is one of the things that has me frankly very concerned. Rep Mario Diaz Ballard, a Republican on the House Appropriation Committee. Impeachment thing is clearly bringing us together to the risk of a government shutdown. There is no doubt about it. House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer, a Maryland Democrat, urged his Senate colleagues to take a meaningful step and work together, uh, to reach a bipartisan agreement. So they're talking about this, but they haven't done it so far. So a letter was sent to Mitch McConnell in regards to, trying to do everything they can to keep the government open during the time they're trying to impeach the president. It's a long way from the goodwill and equally good vibes that followed a sweeping last minute 2-year budget agreement in July, one that locked in increased funding for both domestic and defense priorities prized by lawmakers in both parties. Yet progress on the individual spending bills simply hasn't followed. White House Democrats have moved most of their measures largely along party lines. The Republican controlled Senate, where bipartisan agreement is needed to move legislation forward, is still waiting to pass its first appropriations package on the floor. It's a process beset by squabbles over top line spending numbers, specific provisions each side calls objectionable, and a feeling, at least according to one senator, that there is an ongoing game of chicken to see who will buckle first to finally get things on track. Trump is the wild card. Veterans of spending wars and the longest government shutdown in U.S. history last year, and both parties make clear that there is still time to move forward and possibly a short term stopgap bill to provide the space to complete funding by the end of the year. White House officials have given no indication up to this point that Trump is spoiling for a shutdown battle. people involved in the talks say in the 27-page letter to top lawmakers on the Senate Appropriations Panel obtained by CNN, laying out the White House views of the appropriations bill drafted. To the point, the administration reiterated its priorities, but didn't draw the kind of bright red lines that would foretell a future implosion. I wouldn't put nothing past Trump at this point. I wouldn't. I wouldn't put nothing. I wouldn't put nothing past him. Now that we have impeachment, the optimistic theory of the case is we're going to fight about that, but we're going to do our job on appropriations and maybe even a counterintuitive way that creates the room, Schultz told CNN. Okay, well, you have to do it, but Donald Trump, mm-mm. He may see that as an opportunity. Hell, I can slow shit up. He don't like this impeachment looming on him at all. I was reading some of the stuff that was coming from the White House, and he's even threatening to withhold funds from GOP candidates. So we'll see what happens. This will cause Trump to be even more unpredictable and dug in. And then it's going to be very hard to make a deal. Members of both parties acknowledge Trump remains the ultimate wild card, and he has made clear that he's unwilling to sign domestic spending measures until bills with Republican priorities ranging from defense to border security make their way to his desk as well. I'm increasingly worried that Trump may want to shut down the government because of impeachment. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said during a news conference on Tuesday. He always liked to create diversions. Very true. I hope and pray he won't want to cause another government shutdown because it might be a diversion way from impeachment. If you think that man ain't thinking about that, you got another thought coming. Of course, Trump is thinking about that. Senate Appropriations Chairman Richard Shelby, who has become a de facto briefer in chief on Trump on all things appropriation over the last few years, said he wouldn't think so when asked if he was concerned impeachment would lead Trump to shut down the government. I would hope not. So he doesn't know for certain. If you're saying I would hope not, you don't know for certain. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think they are worried about that. I think it is a big concern. And we already seen how Trump is so unpredictable. You know, he may see this a way of stalling things and he can draw it out even longer than the last shutdown because he doesn't want these impeachment inquiries at all. He don't want it at all. He wants it to go away and he wants the Republicans to shut it down. And to be honest with you, the way the Republicans are worried about this whole thing, I'm not sure that they are all together when it comes down to impeachment of Trump, you know? And I think Mitch McConnell is the one that's trying to keep it all together. And I don't think it's going as smoothly as they thought. So, ladies and gentlemen, we shall see what happens. Look, if this shuts down, you can best believe I think the next thing that's going to hit is recession. I really do. I think it's going to push us into a full scale recession by the time they bring this government back up. I know many think we're already in a recession, and I'm not saying you're wrong, But I think it's really going to be felt if they shut this government down for a long period of time. It is going to be no doubt that we're in a recession and everybody's going to feel the pain from it. Everybody. But y'all, please tell me what you think. Do you think Trump is going to use a government shutdown as a means of slowing down his impeachment? How low will you go? I don't think Trump has a limit, personally. I think he'll stoop to any level, just like most of them. Just like most politicians, they'll stoop to any level. They have no limit. But please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.